Welcome to the Moses Lake Fire Department, a municipal department that staffs 45 employees and is funded through the city's general fund. The operations division consists of 3 platoons or shifts that work a 48-96 rotation, meaning 2 full days on duty and 4 full days at home. The department serves as a primary agency for fire suppression and emergency medical response within the city of Moses Lake and provides an all-hazards technical rescue response for other forms of emergencies. All of this is based upon the department mission statement, providing a safer community through preparation, prevention, and effective emergency response. The Academy to Innovate HR defines a hierarchical structure as a formal structure with clear levels of authority and top-down control. While the fire service is not corporate in nature, historically, many departments, including my own, followed the strict command and control structure that clearly defines duties and streamlines operations. The department is currently going through significant changes with the retirement of several administrative staff, and a resulting organizational restructure has delegated a lot of the command and control in favor of committee-based structure, delegating decision-making to the operation itself. These committees still have oversight from the battalion chiefs, however the shift has streamlined many of the previous day-to-day obstacles. This new method of committee-based operating is loosely similar to Bowman and Deal's example of divisionalized organizations, where an organization is separated into several divisions with oversight from headquarters. Bowman and Deal warn, however, that a common problem with divisionalized organizations is that management may lose touch with operations. Bowman and Deal provide through Maslow's hierarchy of needs that virtually every person has a hierarchy of emotional needs, and that despite modest evidence proving Maslow's hierarchy to be correct, they have been widely accepted and implemented in managerial practice. Simon Sinek reiterates many of these emotional needs when discussing the circle of safety and why leaders eat last. Sinek provides that it is an organization or a leader's responsibility to provide this circle of safety and belonging to as many members as possible, so that the members' effort is spent less on self-preservation and protection and can be better spent on efforts to professionally develop within the company and to better the company overall. Taking both Maslow's and Sinek's provisions, my department is a key example of Douglas McGregor's third assertion of his X and Y theory. After having a leader representative of X theory mentality, that workers are generally lazy, irresponsible, and not capable of grasping organizational concepts, for approximately 10 years, many members began feeling burned out, and the department began seeing a larger than normal wave of retirement and attrition over the last 3 years of his command. This turnover only enforced the chief's belief that employees were solely working for his department for the pay. With the recent change of leadership, administration began recognizing operations employees and rewarding positive values. The result immediately was a higher morale amongst operations-level employees, and for the first time for many members, buy-in to the overall department. This demonstrated firsthand how managerial styles can play factor in both morale and performance. Bowman and Deal indicate that power can come from many potential sources. I find several of these sources to be both interesting and applicable to the fire department. With position power, positions confer certain levels of legitimate authority, like the fire chief, whose position itself gives power. Then there's coercive power, which rests on the ability to constrain, block, interfere, or punish. I find these are often utilized by a person in position power in order to control those subordinate to them. I feel that both of these contrast with personal power, where individuals are imbued with power independent of other sources, largely due to natural charisma, energy, intelligence, vision, or other characteristics. This aligns again with Simon Sinek's definition of a leader, which is that leadership does not come from power, but that one has followers. Bowman and Deal continue that organizations greatly differ in how power is distributed. In an underbounded system, power is diffuse and the system is very loosely controlled. While an overbounded system regulates politics with a firm hand, an underbounded system encourages conflict in power games. Bowman and Deal indicate that from a political perspective, conflict is not necessarily a problem, but is rather a natural byproduct of collective life. This is reiterated in how management teams can have a good fight, where Eisenhart, Conway, and Bourgeois state that management teams whose members challenge one another's thinking develop a more complete understanding of the choices and ultimately make the kinds of effective decisions necessary. The fire department is no different when it comes to collective life, and conflict is an everyday occurrence for the betterment of the team. When conflict is less productive, It is often due to ego, and the overall feeling that there is a right or wrong way to accomplish a task sometimes takes precedence over the recognition that there may be several correct tactics to successfully accomplishing a goal. This all leads back to recognizing every individual's need and putting away the bravado or ego for the collective success of the team. As I have provided through many of the modules in this course, one doesn't need to work hard to find the tradition on the walls of a fire station. To that regard, Bullman and Deal provide every organization has its moments of achievement and atonement. Expressive events provide order and meaning and bind an organization or a society together. Whether it be a ceremony held at the completion of a new firefighter's 365-day probationary period, celebrating family events, or even listening to a living legend talk about his youth, the cohesion built amongst the team comes from many sources, but to those members, it all makes sense. Bullman and Deal provide that when play is viewed as a state of mind, it allows for remarkable innovations. While we aren't necessarily innovating anything at the fire department, when work involves someone's emergency, the ability to unwind and enjoy the little things with your team makes for a culture that maintains focus while ensuring rejuvenation.